So we've already looked at mean and median. There are going to be some other things that we're going to look at that determine the spread of our data. And one of those things is quartiles. Basically, a quartile, which as it sounds is a quarter, it's going to look at what is the median of the lower half of the data, or the first quarter, what's the median of the upper half of the data, or the third quarter. Oh, it's not working. There we go. That's what I wanted it to do. Oh, well, it's not happy. Anyways, I'll just move it. The first quartile, which we call Q1, that's that middle value of the lower group. And our second quartile, which is just another term for a median, often called the 50th percentile. When you were first born, your parents would have taken you to the doctor, that you would have had your height measured and your weight measured, and they might have said, oh, you're in the 60th percentile for your weight, or you're in the 20th percentile for your weight based on your age. So then it's sort of a comparison of what are all babies like at that age, and you're either heavier or lighter than most. The third or upper quartile, Q3, top 75%, the 75th percentile. We call the range the difference between the largest and the smallest value. And for statistics, we're just going to say the number. So for example, if your data goes from 2 to 10, you might have said that before 2 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 10 as a way of saying the range or domain. Here we'll just say the range is 8 and just write a number down for statistics. And we also have an interquartile range, an IQR, which is just the range between the first and the third quartile. And in statistics, when something is very far from the average or the median, we call it an outlier. And here's a little formula to figure out statistically if something is an outlier. We look at the interquartile range, and if something is 1.5 times farther out than that, either above or below from the median, or sorry, from quartile 3 or quartile 1, then we're going to call it an outlier, that it is well beyond the data that we have. So now we've got a bunch of data. We're going to find the range, the median, the quartiles, interquartile range for all the following data, and then figure out if 25 is an outlier. So again, the first thing we need to do is order our data. Couple of things I do as a check when I'm ordering my data. Right now I'm just counted that I had the same amount of numbers than I had up there. The other thing that I sometimes do is as I'm writing them out, I might take them out, 2 5s, 1 6, 2 7s, 8, and a 9, just to make sure that I haven't missed a value. And then I give myself some space so that if I do miss a value, I can squeeze it in there. So there's our data. Now we have an odd number, so our median is right there in the middle. For this set of data, you go from 3 to 9, so our range is 6. Once you've chosen your median, you have 4 below and 4 above. So your first quartile is going to be right there. Your second or your third quartile is going to be in between the 7 and 8. So quartile 1 is 4.5. And quartile 3 is going to be 7.5. And our interquartile range, going from 4.5 to 7.5, is 3. So now we have an even number, so our median is going to be 12.5 between those. And we still have 4 above and 4 below. So our first quartile will be 11. Our third quartile will be 16.5. Our range on this one goes from 10 to 25, which is 15. And our interquartile range goes from 11 to 16.5, which is 5.5. Is 25 an outlier? So we're going to have to see if we take quartile 3, which is 16.5, and we add 1.5 times our interquartile range of 5.5. We get 24.75. So that tells us that anything that is above 24.75 will be an outlier. So yes, it is above 24.75, so it is an outlier. Again, you could put your data into list 1 in your calculator, and your calculator not only tells you your median, you can see that it also tells you your minimum, your maximum, your quartile 1 and your quartile 3. So you could figure out your range from that and your interquartile range from the data on your calculator as well.